First and foremost, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the incredible love and prayers that has been poured out for our family this past week. So yeah, I didn't want to let that go unsaid. Thank you. So, first Torah portion of this year, and I seem to be back here again. This seems to be a spot where I do a lot of the Torah portions. This week is Vayechi. I hope that I say that right. It's called He Lived, and it is Genesis 47:28 to 50:26, which is the last part of Genesis. And then the gospel is John 13:1 to 19. And so basically it goes over Jacob is about to die. And so we also read that Joseph dies. And in this portion, he goes over the blessings of his children, his 12 children, and Ephraim and Manasseh. And obviously there's a lot there, but I would encourage you to read that yourself. Then we read in David, or actually in Second Kings, First Kings, Second Kings, that David is about to die, and he gives instructions to his son of how to behave, what you have to do. He says two things in there that I find very funny, and that probably says a lot about me. But he pretty much tells him, hey, there are these two guys. I was not supposed to touch them. Do with them what feels right. And I trust that God knows and instructs you what to do with them. Which it just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would say something like that. Like, I hold a grudge against somebody. Please do with them what feels right against you. But, you know, I thought that was funny. It's probably my very weird sense of humor. And then we read John 13:1 to 19. And this is really where I want to focus. To be very honest, sometimes when you open the Torah portion, you instantly have the like, ooh, yes, this is it. This is a tiny little pearl that the Father is speaking to me. Because that's the whole point in us presenting the Torah portion to you. We don't have to go over the Torah portion. The whole point is that you read it every single week. We just present what made our hearts beat a little faster. And honestly, there was nothing. And that always frightens me. Because I'm like, oh, okay, I'm standing here and I have absolutely nothing. But I just have to realize that also means that the Father gets more free range to say what he needs to say. John 13:1 to 19. It is Yeshua sitting down at the Passover table, and he is about to wash his disciples' feet. Here's the biggest thing, and I'll leave it at that. Right before he dies, he shows us what it means to be the greatest of them all. Jacob was a great man. He's one of our ancestors, and I'm so happy to say that he is one of my ancestors. David, great man. Yeshua, greatest of them all. Why? Because he was willing to get on his hands and knees and do the dirtiest of jobs. He was willing to wash the feet with Lord knows what on it, while he was our king. Well, he knew that he was the greatest of them all. Well, he knew that he didn't need to do that. But he showed us, because he literally says, you do not understand this now, but you will eventually. If you want to be great, be the least. We've all heard this a million times, But how many times do we also realize that he says, you do not understand this now? There's a lot happening in our lives that I do not understand now, but I am just trusting that it's going to be revealed at some point, that he had his hand in it, that he knew all along, and then I'm going to be like, that's why. That's why. So if there's a dirty job right in front of you this week that you really don't want to do, be the least of these so you can be the greatest. Shabbat shalom.